Welcome to AnimEighties, a retro anime review comedy podcast. Join our resident anime nerd Mackenzie and anime noob Lindsay as they delve into their VHS vault and review the best and worst of what the 80s and 90s had to offer. These episodes contain spoilers and adult language, so stick around if you're cool like that.
Hello, all of my friends, and welcome back to your favorite weekly retro anime review podcast. I am your one host, Lindsay. I'm staring at the beautiful Mackenzie.
Hell yeah, you are, because we are recording this first part in person.
I know, it's weird. This never happens anymore.
I think the last one was Gundam Wing.
I think it was too.
It's a long time ago.
Wow.
We're in person because we went to an anime convention this weekend.
It was awesome.
We'll have a bonus episode on our Patreon for free if you want to hear about Lindsay's first experience at a con.
Yeah, I've never gone to an anime convention before, so I experienced some things.
I was surprised it wasn't as bad as it could have been for certain things, but we'll talk about that in your
Absolutely, we'll get it all into it.
your special episode. But it's your week to host.
It is, and my choice this week was kind of inspired by things that we saw at the anime convention, because you found out my love for Final Fantasy while we were there.
Yes. Yes, I did.
I don't know how you didn't know that I love, I don't know. I love Final Fantasy, but I'm not, I've never played any of the games because I can't play video games because I get motion sick really easily. But I watched all the cutscenes from 10 and 7. I don't know. Anyways, don't test me on any of my Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy is 90% cutscene anyways.
I know. That's why it was so great. I loved it. I also really love the Advent Children movie.
That's old.
I know. 2005, baby.
Yeah, damn.
Also, I just found out Liam O'Brien is in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I didn't know that. I'm just gonna go back to all the things from my childhood and just eventually just find everyone from Critical Role is in something.
Probably.
Oh my gosh. But anyways, yes. This week we are going to watch the OVA from 1994. And it is called Final Fantasy Legend of the Crystals. Does it sound familiar?
In my brain, I'm seeing a VHS cover and it looks like trash.
Is it this VHS cover that looks like trash?
No. Never mind, I'm thinking of something else.
Okay. Well, yeah, the cover for this one isn't really great. But yes, there are 4 OVAs that were released.
Okay.
And the plot of it takes place 200 years after Final Fantasy V.
Okay. So before Cloud.
Yes, this is before Cloud and all those fun ones that
no Daddy Sephiroth?
No, Daddy Sephiroth is not in this one.
Oh.
I know, it's unfortunate, but yeah, Advent Children is 2005, so we can't do it for this. But yes, there are 4 OVAs, and you don't really need to know the plot. I mean, it helps to kind of know some of the plot from Final Fantasy V before this, but they do a good job of kind of giving you that in the the prologue of it, so that you can catch up with, even if you haven't played the game, you have that info.
Yeah. Okay. What's it rated?
Rating? PG-13?
Is it bloody, gory, booby?
No.
Or is it for youngsters?
Yeah, I was gonna say the 2 main characters are 13.
That in anime means nothing for what I just said.
No, it's on the tamer side. It's not gory or anything. Yeah.
It's just a fun adventure.
Oh yeah, it's a very fun adventure.
What am I looking at doing? What happens? What should I expecting?
Oh well, we need to go find a crystal that we don't want other people to steal because it's kind of in charge of the entire wind on the planet.
Why has it gone missing?
Well, it hasn't gone missing. There's 4 crystals total.
Yes.
They're all related to the elements of the Earth, quote unquote. Because I don't know if this is actually Earth.
Yeah.
But 3 of them have been stolen, and so they're the 2 lead characters go to find the air crystal to try and make sure it doesn't get stolen.
So these crystals that are so important are not currently at any point under lock and key.
No,
they're just chilling out in the wild.
Okay, but when
were they really stolen? Or were they just, found in the wild and went, oh, that's a cool crystal?
No, because you'll see in
some white girl with clogs on.
from who took a summer in Peru. And it's no. Once you in the first episode, you'll see like these temples are not easy to get into unless you have like special.
Oh, okay, so they're
yeah.
like proper dungeon style, like trapped up.
It's more like there's like magical things about them that prevent
Barriers and wards and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Okay, so someone was strong enough to break all that.
Well, not break. Someone was just they were more wise enough for the elements of this temple to allow them to enter.
Okay, and much like Avatar, they said the wind one. This will be our main one. They get to stay alive and not stolen.
Yep.
Okay.
And I mean, like, there's some sexy pirates in it again that I think you'll like.
Ooh.
So you can
Are there chocobos?
There are.
Fuck yeah.
Heck
I don't know a lot
yeah.
about Final Fantasy other than like, you know, some of the main characters, but I definitely know chocobos.
Yep. I remember playing like Chocobo Racing when I was a child
Hell yeah.
on the original PlayStation.
I play a game called Apex, and they had a Final Fantasy crossover recently, and you can find little chocobo stuffed toys.
Oh my gosh, I love
It was
it.
great.
That's fantastic.
Anything chocobo is fantastic. Okay, so we're watching Final Fantasy.
We're
watching old Final Fantasy.
mm-hmm.
Characters I know nothing about. Do you think I will be enjoying this, or am I going to be punished and you're not telling me the truth?
No, I think you'll enjoy this. I think you will. Yeah, I think this will be something you'll find fun. There's like some characters in it that make me think of you, just from what you've told me in the past, what you've been like.
Okay.
Also,
that makes me nervous because like I feel like I'm gonna see one of them be like, "That's not me at all."
And then I'll be
what
like,
a
yeah, this one.
douchebag, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, that's the one that's you."
That one made me think of you.
You
No.
fucking douchebag.
No. Also, some of the design of it kind of makes me think of the Gorillas,
Oh,
like the band.
okay.
So it'll be interesting. I don't know,
Their music videos or just like their general?
like the character designs.
Oh, weird.
Yeah,
Is everyone just green skinned and pointy teeth?
100%. You figured it out.
That's what we're watching. Green skinned pointy teeth simulator.
Yep, 100%.
It probably exists.
Yep.
Dig it. All
I
right.
mean, like, there'll be some weird like crystal side effects that I'm sure we'll talk about, but
They didn't put them under the full moon and charge them.
no, they didn't.
Anyways.
Yep. Anyways, we're gonna go away, kind of explore some things, try and save the world, and we'll be right back.
Hell yeah.
Pet some chocobos.
Quick editor's note, if you're curious why I sound completely different in part 1 versus part 2, it's because I was losing my voice in part 1.
And we're back from our epic quest across the world to find the Crystal of the Wind and save everybody from the baddies. And we're back now, so you're welcome. How'd you feel about this one, Mackenzie?
Okay, so first off, I have to say,
Mm-hmm.
there was more panty shots in this show than anything I have shown you since Agent Ica.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Ica definitely wins. We went more than 54 seconds without, or 24 seconds without getting a panty shot.
But does this mean that the mass panty shot shows are back on the menu already?
I have given you nice things.
No, I kid. While there were a bunch, they were not like, bam, detailed coochie in the face.
Yeah, it wasn't like creepy, like pervy shots of the panties. It was just like, oh, she just happens to be only wearing a tunic, So yeah, I don't know. It feels like such a flimsy excuse for the costume. Are we just gonna get into this right off the bat? I think we are.
Yeah.
It feels like such a flimsy excuse to like, well, we have to tell that the crystal's in her butt.
Yeah, I was like, the second I saw what she was wearing, I was like, there's going to be panty shots in this show.
Oh, 100%. You're like, she's not wearing pants at all. Like, oh, man.
I don't know a lot about Final Fantasy. Any Final Fantasy I've played has mostly been with like Cloud and like things like that.
I know.
So
The like A-team.
Yeah, thankfully you were correct in the fact that I didn't need to know anything about Final Fantasy to be able to play this.
No, and a lot of reviews online and stuff like that from people who are fans of the series, who have played the games and watched this, are like, yeah, it's just like a side.
I honestly thought going into this I wouldn't like it.
Oh,
I don't know why. I just got really weird vibes from it initially. And I am, however, happy to report that while it had a decent amount of flaws, it was actually a fun and enjoyable watch.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, like, can we talk about the budget and the animation and design? Ooh.
Sure, we can do that because I think we might have differing opinions.
Oh my gosh, do we really? Because I thought the design was really cool. I really loved it. because it was just like very detailed, very colorful. I thought the like flow over. I thought it was really, really high budget. But what did you think?
Overall, the designs were great. They were neat to look at. The backdrop's really nice at times. The
Very
animation,
saturated.
yeah, but the animation was not consistent. Sometimes it felt so lackluster, and then other times, especially in the 4th episode, they just go all out and it looks incredible. Like it looks really good at times. And maybe it's because I look at that kind of stuff a little bit more. I don't know. It looks good, but it feels like they were like, oh, we're rushed at this one section, so we're gonna have to quickly just jump through it.
Oh
Is
man,
what it felt like.
maybe it was because we were watching the sub, and I was like, I'm reading. I can't pop between both of them. But I don't know. I never caught any of it. I was like, yeah,
Well,
I'm
it's
here for this.
like you said, it's great in like the overall, but there was just some moments where I was like, really, this is so inconsistent. However, if you can push through some of those rough moments, you are treated to some really great stuff, especially the ending scene, and then like really
Mhm.
good sound design that helps out a ton because it's decent. The sound's actually pretty good in this.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. It very much highlights the plot of the story and what's going on. It just adds another layer of atmosphere.
Yeah, and like the D&D style party dynamics of this and like the characters are honestly what makes it good.
Hmm.
Like it felt like a proper party comes together and takes on a big quest, kind of like mini one shot that I was watching. like-
Yeah, I could see that.
Each person has their own role and personality that you'd want to have in a group, and they make sure to make the most out of each of them,
Mhm.
which was nice. My personal favorite, of course, being Rouge, which I'm sure
Who
you
would've thought?
expected.
I saw it. I was like, this is gonna be Mackenzie's favorite person.
Now, what about yours, though?
I think it's also Rouge.
You're dang right
Yeah.
it is. we just
Yeah,
love
she's-
our hot space pirates.
I love her sidekicks. Like,
Oh my god, yeah, they're incredible.
they're so good. I'm like, I know what now. I know what I need to cosplay as.
The story itself, which I'll go into more detail shortly here, isn't exactly a fresh story. The stones have been taken. We must get them back. Oh, okay. That's not that original.
Well, and the other thing
But-
is like 3 of the 4 stones are already gone by the time we get into this story.
I think actually helps this because it would have been like 9 hours long if we had to deal with all of them. But it's what they do with the characters and how they utilize the idea that this is like a fantasy world, but still has robotics and tech that
Mhm.
actually separates it. Because it's really driven by character choices, which, you'd think, oh, that's obvious. That's how stories work. No,
Not all the time.
this could have been so much more linear than it was, but it wasn't just like, oh, we're all going to do the same thing. Off to be multiple points where like Preetz would be off doing a completely different thing than Lena to achieve the same goal. It was just like, we arrive, we do this thing, we move forward. It was like everyone was doing their own individual piece to kind of drive the story forward in their own way, which I very much so appreciated.
Yeah, or even like when I think it's like episode 3, and they're like, we need to go to space to stop these people, whatever. And then Rouge is like, bye, I'm not going to do this. And then the queen's like, oh, darn it. We had all this gold that we were going to give you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
you
like,
know.
oh, well, now I've got a reason. And it's
Yeah,
within
exactly.
her character that she would do it.
Yeah,
It felt
exactly.
like a
Like there's no way Rouge is going to this space to, get back, like to stop this giant evil thing from rising. Like there's no way. But if there's gold involved.
Which is funny because even if she doesn't do it, the world's going to get destroyed anyways.
Mhm.
But she says, fuck it, I'll just die. I'd rather die than not have treasure, which
Yeah.
she says multiple times. So like it sticks on point.
Mhm.
So that's kind of what really made it for me, is what made the story feel unique was each of the characters had their own thing in every single scenario. And again, they're just memorable characters. Like Valkis is just hilarious. I didn't think I was going to like him. And then almost instantly I was like, oh, this man is hilariously amazing.
Yeah, I would agree. What D&D class do you think they would all be?
Oh gosh.
Like
So
Lena Lee is going to be like a cleric or something. Some
Lena
sort of.
Lee, no, the cleric would be mid.
Oh yeah,
Mid-
you're right.
Yeah, mid's the cleric. Lena Lee would be like a wizard or a sorcerer.
Mhm.
Preetz is a fighter.
Yeah.
Valkis would be a paladin. Rouge is obviously a rogue.
Mhm.
And then those are the main
The rest are
characters.
there.
The rest are just bad guys or queens and NPCs.
Yeah, like they're not as important.
No. Speaking of the story, I don't know, let's jump into episode 1.
I think we absolutely should.
We begin with like an old man talking to himself, staring at like a dial. His energy is leaving the planet and how a storm is coming. followed by like some royals talking about basically the same thing. And then there's one guy called the Blue Mage, and he wears blue and his blue tinted skin. It's very creative.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wow, they really hit the nail on the head with that one.
They took the 90s video game naming method and was like, we're just going to put it into this as well. We're not going to give him a proper cool name. Yeah, exactly. And then we meet Lena Lee and her grandfather, who's the old man from before. And they're like, off to check on the crystal. And then we meet Preetz, our other pro tag, who's chasing after them because he wants to join them. And he's trying to get on the boat to no avail. And he falls in the water. And her grandfather just really does not want him to come with them at all.
Like,
he hates this kid.
This fucking kid.
But he's persistent, and he like keeps following them on a motorcycle for hours until he finally crashes it. And then we learn that the grandpa doesn't want him around because he's just super loud and the wind crystal's super chill, bro, and doesn't like that kind of stuff.
He's like really gonna kill the vibe.
Yeah, bro. But then Lena Lee and the grandfather end up getting attacked by this giant bug creature. But thankfully, Lena Lee knows summoning magic.
And what does she summon?
She summons forth a great badass creature. Which, don't get me wrong, I love chocobos, but this was featherless.
This was a chocobo who got a Brazilian.
Like a fully naked chocobo who can barely run.
I was like, what is this?
It was so derpy because apparently she is only a level 1 magic user. And her skills are basically useless because this chocobo quickly becomes unsummoned.
Level 2 is when you get the feathers on the chocobo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like it falls to the ground and disappears. But it's okay because thankfully, Preetz is a master swordsman, I guess, as he rides his motorcycle up the back of this creature and then beheads it with like a 6-foot-long katana.
Yeah, we're just going with the peak Final Fantasy and just having absurdly huge swords.
Yeah, and like you'd think
he's like, I borrowed this from my boy Sephiroth.
Yeah. And you'd think that Grandpa would have wanted to have someone like him around for this journey.
Right?
But no.
Especially when he's old as balls and like can't fight, really.
Yeah, literally the next scene is him in bed because he got fucked up during all that, being like, literally, you have to go alone. And I mean seriously alone, don't bring Preetz with you.
Because fuck that kid.
You just watched yourselves almost get killed. You're still telling her to go alone? Okay.
I know, right? And this guy was the one who like defeated the baddie.
Yeah, I don't know. But so she goes alone. Except not, because Preetz is following along beside her on his bike. And he's like, get in the damn bike. She's like, no, I have to do this alone. Which lasts until they are attacked by a giant pink ship.
Because why not? Oh, but this pink ship is so cool.
I was going to say, it's a sick pink ship. I love this ship.
Yep. I want it.
But these are not your average pirates. Oh, no. These are latex clad bondage pirates.
Ooh.
Led by a hot redhead named Rouge.
Oh, man.
But then,
again, very on the nose with the naming.
But then her lackeys are also in latex. But they're like latex, like bikini and shorts with like headgear that's like bear ears.
Yeah, they're like bear mouse ears or something.
They're way too big to be or small to be mouse. They gotta be bear, but they're basically latexed up. Like I'm talking like,
and they have like 3D glasses on.
Yeah,
love it.
like sumo wrestling women, just like in these latex outfits. They're incredible.
They're so good.
I love that. I was like, oh my god, very strange, but oh my god. But so like they're being chased by these pirates, and then he uses his motorcycle to like fly above them and drop a bomb on the ship.
Oh my gosh, the bomb.
I'm pretty sure that these bombs are alive.
Yeah, there's some sort of they're definitely sentient of some form.
Their only purpose in life is to explode, happily explode. But it's their only purpose in life. That's it. Yep. It's just to explode. But they're cool. I like the look of the bombs. I think they're very fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they get away from them, so they're heading towards the temple, and they're going through forests in a sandstorm. And then she hears in her mind to just let the magic take her. So while she's literally being violently thrown around, showing our first 100 panty shots of the series, which again I knew was coming in this exact moment, she just gives in and just lets go of the bike and flies up into the air. But thankfully it's okay because the magic in the wind is with her.
Oh, thank goodness.
And she just like floats down to the ground. And now the sand is gone and the temple entrance has been revealed.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh. And it's just like a giant floating stone cone with the temple in the middle of it.
It is kind of cool.
And this was my first moment of, each character doing their own individual thing because they're like, oh, we can't reach it. And Preetz is like, yo, don't worry, I got a way, and just drives off. But
just leaves. We're like, okay.
He's not needed because Lena Lee solves the easiest puzzle ever.
Yeah.
And then rides some stone blocks up to the entrance. But in this time, Preetz has now come back because he has decided to hijack the pirate ship by holding them all hostage with 1,000,000 explosives in his hands and rides it to the entrance.
I mean, you got to give the kid credit.
Look, he is a kid with an angsty heart of gold, but he's stupid.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
He is like Genki from Monster Rancher.
Oh my gosh, he is.
Yeah, that's exactly who he is, because he solved the problem and he did it with the right motive, but like, bro, you're leading pirates to a bunch of treasure in a hidden temple.
I know, you're like just like a big, like ultimate treasure for these people.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, let us help us get in. And then just leave.
Thankfully, though, as they go inside, the military shows up and they're like, where the fuck is the sandstorm? Oh my God, there must be thieves inside the temple. I'll get them when they come out. So this makes like the pirates like disappear up into the clouds or whatever.
Yeah. They're like, we're not staying around.
Yeah. And this is when we learn that the other 3 crystals have already been stolen.
Yeah.
And each nation that lost a crystal is experiencing a natural disaster related to the type of stolen crystal.
Yep.
So like the earth crystals, a bunch of earthquakes destroying everything, yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
But then we also got to look inside this giant black moon that's hovering out in in space.
The
ether. It's some evil entity that they didn't animate at all. They just painted him.
They literally did. And they're like, we'll just add some weird voice, for them.
Yeah, like it's all modulated because they're technically half robot or whatever. But they just like showed a painting and then had the painting talk.
Yep.
There's no animation.
I mean, that was where they saved budget.
Yeah. But so we cut back to Lena Lee and Preetz reaching up to like grab this crystal, but when she touches it, it causes some weird flashbacks and the crystal promptly decides to absorb itself into her body.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? Here's a good place in this tiny child's body. Let's just, this big powerful crystal. Let's put this in this child's body, in her butt.
Which leaves her like bent over with her ass out, with them both staring at it because it's now glowing. Because of course her ass is going to be where the magic is stored.
Yep, exactly. It enters in her chest and ends up in her butt.
Usually it enters in my mouth and ends up in my butt. But
I know. This is literally the like the ultimate 90s like up your butt like.
And so the episode ends with them just like riding off into the sunset. It was very quick.
So they
just
say.
Touch the crystal, get the glowing butt, everyone stare at the underwear, off we go.
Oh my gosh.
And so we come into like episode 2 and like, remember the military guys from before? Well, they're still
the ones waiting for people to come out.
And like, instead of being like, hi, my name's Lena Lee, my grandfather and my family are part of the group sworn to protect the crystal, you'll know our family. Preetz just starts a fight with Valkus, the commander.
Grandfather is kind of important. You may know him.
I'm related to this guy from 200 years ago that like saved the world. Doesn't do any of that. Preetz just starts a fight with like his sword versus everyone's guns.
Bartz. His name is Bartz.
Bartz?
The grandfather is Bartz, who is kind of important for Final Fantasy V. And this is like one of the only things where we get to have a throwback to a link to Final Fantasy V.
But so as this whole like battle, quote unquote, it's just a one-on-one is going on, the pirates arrive and hearing all this stuff about the crystal, scoop up the 3 of them that are fighting Lena Lee, Valkus, and Preetz, and just go off into space. Well, not into space, but up into the clouds.
Yeah.
And I fully understand at this moment why Grandpa didn't want Preetz there, because he's done nothing but cause problems.
Truly.
So I take back what I said previously, but so our latex pirates take our hostages to Rouge Island.
Ooh.
Where
Which I'm like, seems like a really great place to go to.
Yeah. This is where we learned that the main pirate Rouge is a whip crack and dommy mommy.
I know. I was like, this is a children's show. This is hot.
Whose main form of torture was a tickling machine.
Yep, she's literally a dominatrix.
She is joyously tickling this character while like laughing about his pain and suffering. He's not suffering at all.
No.
And like all the while, commander of the Royal Army, Valkus, is staring at her with love in his eyes. tears
he's just
forming.
fully simping.
He wants that latex clad dummy mommy so badly. He loves how she looks. He loves her tactics. He's so into her. It's so funny.
His safe word is mommy.
Oh, man. But the tickling doesn't work, so she strangles Lena for a bit before just like throwing them into prison.
Just fully like killing a child.
You know, when the tickling doesn't work, we got to
Just
move on to the murder.
Choke out a child.
And so we get a quick look of like an evil ship moving through the desert before it shows our pro tags and in prison, and Valkus is monologuing about the problem, which you'd think would be being in prison, but it's
Potentially.
not.
No.
It's about having to choose between his kingdom or fucking his new love.
I know. It's truly hard.
This man saw that hot whip crack and redhead and was ready to risk it all. And like, I get it.
Yeah.
I fully get it.
Pledge allegiance to Rouge.
Pledge allegiance to that ass. But
oh, man.
While they're in prison, the crystal bursts out of her chest again and summons the spirit of a great warrior who helped to seal away the ex-death 200 years ago.
Whoa.
But it's just like a 2-foot tall child. And he's named Mid.
I know, which I was like, wow, that is not a great.
No, for 2024, being called
They're
Mid
like,
is
wow.
not good.
I'm like, oh, here's our great hero, average.
Yeah, exactly. But as someone who plays D&D, I'm not going to question the actual validity of someone who saved the world based on their size or their look.
It is true.
You never know who's a level 20 wizard.
Yeah, that is true.
You never know when you go into a shop. The old man behind the desk you try to steal from is a level 20 fighter who just like destroys you in one go for stealing from him. So like,
You're like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. And like, honestly, I like Mid. I think he's sassy and he gives Preets a bunch of shit all the time.
Yeah.
I am here for him. Plus he's a ghost. He can just like move in and out of things.
Yeah, he just does whatever he wants.
He's absolutely useless when it comes to anything physical.
Mhm.
He's just there to be some comic relief that isn't chaotic.
Yeah, he provides good color commentary for some of the things that Pretz tries to do.
So meanwhile, the military and this like other evil ship are both kind of like moving through the air and water looking for the crystal, which keeps appearing and disappearing on the radar because it turns out when it's in her body, no one knows it's there.
It's on stealth mode.
So she has to keep absorbing this crystal and having glowing butt cheeks to keep it safe.
So dumb.
And then we learn that the big baddie trying to destroy the world is Death Gyunos.
Ooh, which I'm like, even still after watching this, I'm still like, Death Gyros, Jiggernich?
Yeah, it's the names for these baddies are very dumb. We'll learn more later. They're not great.
Do that, or it's Raw Devil.
See, I was calling it Rad Devil.
Rad Devil, Rad Evil, I don't know.
Or that's what it was, Rad Evil.
Okay, see, that's the thing. It's like Final Fantasy has some incredible people in its rogues gallery. Like, we have Sephiroth and Kadaj and like all these cool people. And then this one is just like, all right, they're here.
Yeah, but Mid won't elaborate further on who it actually is.
No.
So like during all
Because
this,
we can't find that out yet.
No, of course not.
It's only episode 2.
Yeah, gotta wait till episode 4. But so during all this,
Duh.
Rouge comes back and is like, "Hey yo, girl, give me that crystal." She's all, "I don't know how to make it come out of me." And Rouge is all, "Well, I don't like playing with girls' bodies, if you know what I mean."
She's like,
And
I
then-
know how to make things come out of people's body.
And then takes her away, and one can only assume is about to be like them carving her open.
I know. That's what it seems like. It's like, it feels like they're going to like strap her to a table and just like
Yeah, also
dig it
that,
out themselves.
that's not at all what Rouge sounds like. Rouge is more of like a sexy kind of, you know, like, I'm your hot dummy mommy Rouge.
Oh, yes.
But anyways, thankfully, Valkus is strong enough to like bend the bars so that Preets could go and like rescue Lena Lee. And folks, oh my gosh, this next scene is so fucking gruesome. Okay? I had mentioned carving into her,
Mhm.
but instead they're trying to carve a path through her by making her drink bottles of laxatives.
What the fuck is this show?
Because Rouge thinks she can make her poop out a crystal the size of a 2-liter pop bottle.
I was going to say, that is a huge crystal. There is no way that is naturally moving through her.
Like, I could not imagine shitting that out.
It's just, like, it's basically what's going to happen is what happens later with the crystal, but with poop.
But at least she's sitting at a nice, comfy table.
I mean...
Like, she's not being treated poorly.
No, there's, like, this beautiful, like, tea party, basically.
Yeah. But
like, I would love to be there, minus the X-Lax.
yeah, thankfully, before she can guzzle all the poop juice, Preet storms in, steals a sword, and like slashes a bunch of treasure up and like leaves them all like, oh my god, what the fuck's going on? And like runs away. Because these pirates are not actually that tough.
No.
I don't know how they've survived this long.
I don't either.
But as they escape, an alarm is sound, and it's a giant stone statue where the bikini cups are the metal bells.
Oh my gosh, I laughed so hard at that alarm bell. I loved it. I was like, I need one for my house.
It was incredible.
Oh man,
Like,
seriously.
picture your alarm clock with like the little ding 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 thing on top of it, but then instead of a clock below it, it's just boobs.
If this exists anywhere online, someone please tweet me the link. Because tweet the link to the AnimEighties account so that I can purchase it for my home. Thank you so much.
You've got a 3D printer.
Yeah, but I can't 3D print metal.
No, you just take apart an old clock.
I don't have time for that.
Fine. Anyways,
I will buy it. It'll be quicker.
they run until they find Preet's motorcycle and they like make their escape, but not before knocking over a lackey that was trying to fight Valkis. But he had just finished telling her he doesn't like to fight fat women.
Oh, yeah.
Which, like,
Yeah.
damn, bro.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of language in this show that you're like, oh yeah, this was made in the 90s.
Yeah, they say the R word a lot.
So much.
Which is weird because they say baka, which means idiot. I've never heard baka translated as the R word before. So I think that might have just been like a localization thing. I'm not sure.
I was like, frag!
But it was a little annoying hearing it that many times.
It was really annoying to hear it, yeah.
Yeah, so they ride this like motorcycle down these minecart tracks, avoiding swinging swords.
Also, we're gonna go back a bit. Valkis is the one saying that he's not like a tiny delicate flower either.
No, he's like 2 times the size of this woman he's fighting.
Yeah, so like, I don't know, fuck off, like pot meat kettle.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. I forgot about that. You were very correct.
I'm like, oh, sorry, only women can't be fat. Men, whatever, who cares? Sorry, I will like rant on this forever because I think it's bullshit.
I agree. I fully agree. But I'm going to move us off of that just for the sake of moving through the podcast. So they like ride their motorcycle down these minecart tracks, avoiding like swinging swords from lackeys on like the other side of it. They make it to the pirate ship they plan to steal, but too bad for them. Somehow, even though they're on a motorcycle, all the other pirates with Rouge are already there waiting.
Yeah, they somehow are just like, I don't know. It's that horror movie thing.
Yeah, just I'm just here. And like a battle's about to start, but then Valkis steps up and he's like, no, please, my darling, do not fight. But then that's also stopped by Death Gionos soldiers who are like flying metal robot ship things.
Yeah.
And so like Preetz lies and says he has the crystal and takes off, so they follow him. And unfortunately, while the others escape with the pirates, Preetz is left behind as the whole island is destroyed, which leaves Rouge a big sniveling mess because all of her poor treasures are gone.
I guess she has to start all over again.
Yeah, and then we end as the military arrives and we discover, thankfully, Preetz made it out alive, floating in a pot in the ocean.
He's like, somehow he made it out alive of that. Like,
who we assume is, again, Death Gionos, is super pissed. And so we start episode 3, which I believe was the dragon one.
It is. This one's fun.
And we begin on the Iron Wing with Rouge in chains, which Valkis feels very bad about, but he doesn't want to show that in front of his other, members of the military. But for some...
They can't be seen as soft.
But then for some reason, the queen has ordered her chains to be removed so they can all make their way easily to the sparkly palace of the tycoon, which Rouge is very excited about because it's full of treasure.
I mean, how could you not be excited?
And then we meet our beautiful queen, Lena, who gives us more backstory about the crystals and their importance to keeping the world. And it turns out we don't actually just need to get the wind crystal safe. The world's going to get destroyed if all 3 aren't put back anyways. Just slower. So it's like, oh man, freaking great, cool. And then Mid finally gives us some details into what he wouldn't tell us before about Death Gionos, who is apparently a death god. And it was actually this other evil bad guy that wants to embody him that stole his grandfather's brain because his grandfather was the only one who knew how to use the crystals properly.
Yeah.
And like at his funeral, steals the brain, kills Mid. So it's like, damn, the kid's got a tragic backstory. Okay. Feel bad for the boy. And then it's like they realize, oh, the Black Death guy, his home base is on the Black Moon. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Who'd have thought the
That
Black
is-
Moon housed all of the evil?
I would have never thought that. That doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, but they have to get there. And their normal ships can't go to space. What are they going to do? Oh, just thankfully, we have a magical dragon that lives under the city.
Yeah, but you have to go get him. You have to go find him somehow.
Yeah, we can't just like call him up to help us.
Yeah.
It's got to be a whole
Yeah,
quest.
Yeah, you guys have to like go down under a tower and then you have to go look for him. We don't really know where he is or if he's still there. That's where we think he is. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And like everyone is excited to help except for Rouge, who's like, nah, fuck it. And then as you mentioned
Nope.
earlier, the queen's like, treasure?
and she's like, okay, I'm ready.
Well, okay then. But I mean,
If you insist.
I too am motivated by money. So I mean,
It's true.
you know.
You're like, fine, I'll do it.
So they go to speak with this magical dragon while like Rouge and the military go off to fight this invasion that's happening because the city is now under siege. And as they like walk to this gate, Lena Lee's butt glows again and the gate's open. Look, it's butt magic, okay?
Oh my gosh.
This whole thing
it's
is butt
just-
magic. But don't worry, we're about to get to the best part of the butt magic shortly here.
I mean, I hope that's a gift somewhere.
I almost assuredly. But so
It probably is, yeah.
as Lena Lee and Preetz are making their way to this dragon, they're attacked and they manage to escape without dying, which makes no sense because they fell very far.
Yeah, there was a lot of bludgeoning damage.
Oh yeah. And then they
Mhm.
come to like a platform, like a stone structure in the middle of a lake. And just like last time, Preetz is like, no, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Yep.
And like
I'm not going to
swims.
sit and talk and try and plan this out. I'm just going to
Yeah.
go do it.
Exactly. And he like swims out to it. And Mid is like, hey, look at the symbol underneath you, and blows the dust off of it. And Lena Lee like turns around away from the thing in the lake and stares at this emblem. And in this moment, all of the prune juice that she drank earlier comes back in full force as she is hit with a light beam from the heavens, which causes her ass to glow and shoot out a Kamehameha blast
From her ass.
towards this structure, which activates it, revealing a giant head statue under the water and like a path they can cross.
Oh my
But-
gosh.
Oh my fucking god, they made her shit out a beam.
It was hilarious. And like, not just like, it's massive.
It
Oh
like
my gosh.
anyone who's seen Dragon Ball Z will know a Kamehameha. That is what she did out of her tushy with light from the heavens. like-
Someone got paid Japanese yen to animate this Kamehameha coming out of this child's ass. I just want everybody to think
I-
about that for a second.
Cackled.
Oh yeah.
It was so fucking funny. Oh
I
my God.
scared my rabbit with how loud I laughed at it.
It just comes because you're like, oh, the light has hit her. And I'm like, oh, something cool's gonna happen. And then just like, just like,
Oh man. And what's funny is that part is in the trailer.
really?
They went, yeah, they're like, this part needs to be in the trailer.
Oh my god. So moving on from the poo beam, they make their way into the temple, but they're secretly being followed by an evil glowing orb. Ooh, spooky.
Glowing orb.
And so they find the dragon. It wasn't that hard to
Mhm.
find. Unfortunately, it's the size of a fucking chicken and it looks dumb as hell.
It does look derpy as hell.
And I don't mean, I mean literally stupid ass brain dragon. It is
Oh yeah.
derped up beyond belief.
Lights on, no one's home.
No, I don't even know if the lights are on.
I mean, it's sleepy.
It is just so derpy looking. And much like everyone else, we're just kind of like, huh, okay, welp, this isn't going to help us.
Yeah,
but
this is the
that's-
dragon that's going to help us save the world.
Yeah, that's interrupted though when an evil entity arrives in the form of that orb, which it turns out is the real name of the guy who's controlling all this, which is Radevil
Ooh.
or Rad Devil, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Turns out he's trying to become the god of death, Death Borogamus or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
And right now-
Gyros.
Yeah, it's something like that. And right now he's like using stone golem like rocks to like look like a physical creature around them.
I mean, it was kind of cool.
Oh, don't get me wrong. This part was really neat. Like he like tries to blow it up with like a bomb and then it comes back and it's like, "Mwahaha, sucker.
Yeah, it just like reassembles
I'm
himself.
still here, biatch."
I'm still standing.
Exactly. And so ends up stealing Lena Lee, and this triggers our little chicken dragon to transform into its full potential. At which point I did say in my notes that I feel bad for calling it stupid. It's huge now and it has hair, like a little mohawk.
It does. It does. Has like a flow.
And that's
little...
kind of where we end with this dragon bursting forth from under a tower. We come into episode 4, the chapter of stars, you said?
Yeah, chapter of Star.
Star, okay. And
Just one.
Radevil is monologuing about traveling the universe, looking for purpose and finding it in the Lord of Death, Death Gionos, and how he will become the god by using the crystals and the brain. And my question is,
Ooh.
he stole this brain 200 years ago. Why did
I
he
know,
wait
right?
so long to do this?
I
Like,
have no idea.
the only thing I can assume is that it took him 200 years to decipher this brain.
I mean, yeah, because the brain is it's grown.
Yeah, it's a huge brain now, so he must have spent time to like
Watering
really
it,
like, yeah, taking
covering
care
it in
and
like compost. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so he puts a bit of care. So that's the only reason I could think he waited 200 years.
Yeah,
But
there's not really a good idea. Like, it doesn't really make sense.
no, but then we get this like beautiful backdrop of like Radivil prepping this giant machine to transfer power, and it's gorgeous.
Mhm.
Bright colors, futuristic technologies, like all this transference is beginning. And this is like episode 4 is where the animation just like really kicks in. Like they put all their budget into the finale for this damn thing because
Mhm.
it is of all 3 the best looking.
I would say they did the opposite of, what was it, Angel Cop, where they're just like,
Yeah, exactly. But all that beautiful scene is quickly cut short and we jump back to the pirates being towed by the dragon into space, who are very intrigued by the fact that the Earth is round.
Oh yeah. They're like, whoa, where do you think we live?
They're like, are we on top? We got to be on top or else we'd fall off on the bottom.
Oh my
Which means that
gosh.
either this incredibly advanced society, they've just never hit that point of their studies, or these
guess.
pirates were flat earthers.
I know.
And
I'm
they're just
like,
having the
I don't
proof
know.
put before them now. Holy shit.
The planet, our education system really failed these people.
Yeah, exactly. We then cut back to Red Evil or whatever. His body's begin to transform. His new flesh is growing and replacing his metal parts. And this looks so fucking good. Like, this is a Kira
Mhm.
level ending baddie, just like growing and morphing going on. It is phenomenal.
Mhm.
Absolutely
It's
incredible.
So cool.
So good. Also, I take back my take backsies about the dragon being cool because bro gets hit by like one lightning bolt and just becomes a chicken again and they all plummet towards the black moon.
It's like he polymorphed.
Yeah, it took
And then,
1
yeah.
point of damage and just like,
And now he's back. Now he's
yeah,
a chameleon.
exactly. And I was like, bro, come on.
I know. I was like, that's really pathetic.
But our pro tags are now like on the ground trying to find what direction to go. And
Oh, thank
thankfully,
goodness.
Mid's grandpa decides to go into his brain for a quick go north, you dingus.
But it's like, he just is like, ah!
Yeah, he's just like shaking on the spot as he's hearing all of this. And everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, we're
He's,
just like clearly
pointing
like,
north.
this is
He's
not cool.
"Oh." Yeah, and so while this is happening, Valkis defends like Rouge from like a bunch of robots as they like push forward towards Radivil, and they're like riding in the airship, and we get this epic shot of Radivil on the left and the airship pushing towards him on the right, fighting through all of this gunfire, and you think there's going to be some epic battle, and then they just crash the ship
like-
into him
Yep. You think? No.
and blow him up. And then Preetz goes and rescues Lenally, and it's a happy ending. Or it would have been if it wasn't the funniest fucking scene of the whole show. Because Lenally is possessed, proceeds
Yeah.
to kick the living shit out of Preetz until he's on
Just
his
like
ass.
curb stomps him.
And then, yeah, starts jumping on his face multiple times. And then, like, Street Fighter, like, 10x kicks him just completely leaving him just mush on the
I know.
ground.
I was like, Preetz is now dead.
Now, this clip is a GIF a million times that I had no idea where it came from. I've even
I would say this
used
is
it
also a very gifable one.
as a reaction GIF for things before, and I had no idea what it was from. And I now thankfully know it is from this, and it's
You're welcome.
incredible. Incredible.
Yep. I love
So, Lenally, it turns out, is possessed.
it. Yeah.
Thankfully, Mid shows up and like removes her curse.
Very
but-
easily.
Yeah, but not before a giant naked titty orc shows up.
Ah! You're just like flapping.
They're not flopping. They are just like, "Hooah." They are out there and they are just like storming towards them. And thankfully, Varkas shoots it to all hell and finishes the job.
But also, again, very conveniently quickly.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's just there instantly. They are terrifying looking, these orc things.
They're so strange.
Like, they look like they've had botched breast implants.
I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's very weird to look at.
Mhm.
And so they collect the crystals, and Mid gets to have a little chat with Grandpa Brain. It's very wholesome.
Except it's a brain.
Yeah, that too. But too bad Redevil wasn't killed. He survived.
You suck.
He's messed up, but he's alive. But don't worry, Mid is there to sacrifice himself while the others run and gun down more titty orcs. But
Oh, thank goodness.
Mid's attempt was in vain because Redevil just keeps going.
Oh man, he's like Rasputin.
Yeah, but don't worry, our pro tags are like super ready to fight because for some unknown reason, Preetz gets a power boost when the crystal just leaves Lena and then goes into him. But I would like to make a very important note here. His butt does not glow.
Well, he has pants on, so we don't know.
You would still glow through it.
I don't know. Not if it's like a duct canvas.
I don't know. That was a pretty glowy ass she had.
It was so glowy.
But so Valkus and like our now powered up Preetz are like in a battle against Redevil, but they're not having a good time. So thankfully, that plot armor kicks in and Lena summons power through the crystal inside of Preetz to summon a bunch of really powerful beings in the form of a million naked derpy chocobos that bombard and blow Redevil to all hell. Like, I'm talking just like, they're not even like epic looking. They're just like head drooping, just like, woo, like wet chicken thrown through the air.
The show is is serious. Like, this isn't supposed to be a comedy. Like, this is supposed to be like
serious moment.
The big like final battle. We're winning. Like, this is how we're gonna win. Is a bunch of naked chocobos.
Yeah, and it blows them all to hell once and for all, right? Nah, fam, he back. Oh wait, never mind. Preetz cuts him in half. Now it's over. Like, you couldn't leave it with the chocobos. Preetz had to get his sword in there.
Well, of course, the women can't win the fight. It has to be the man. Come on, Mackenzie.
Sorry. And like, I don't really know what he got from having that crystal in him because he didn't like do anything fancy other than swing a sword like he normally does.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the point of it going into him was, but who knows?
It did.
The animation during all of this last scene is fucking incredible.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's beautiful. It's intense. Even the derpy chocobos, while they're still derpy, look incredible in this like just golden shower. That's a weird way to put that.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
In this golden meteor shower.
We watched different episodes, I guess. Just
golden
raw.
Meteor shower.
There we go.
That was Redevil just like, anyways, I'm leaving that in.
Good.
So our heroes are all alive. Turns out Mid survived too, because I guess spirits can't die twice.
He's a ghost.
I guess he managed to kill his grandfather because now his grandfather's spirit is with him.
Yeah.
So he finally killed the brain and was like, you're good to come with. We get like this like ghostly image of all the old party and they fade away into the ether.
Which is the Final Fantasy V characters.
Yeah. And then we like,
so we gotta shoehorn that in there.
Of course. And we make our way back to Earth on the dragon again. We like place all the crystals back and they're heading home to their home province. And we end with Rouge driving by to say goodbye to the gang.
Oh my gosh, I loved this part.
And they're like, are you already going back to work? You need more treasure already? She goes, oh, well, we've got another mouth to feed. And you're like, what? Who's this other mouth? Did they take the dragon? What's going on? Nah, motherfucker, it's a latex clad Valkus.
Hell yeah. And he has like the cute little like pirate graphic on his shirt.
Oh my god.
Sorry, not on his shirt, on his crop top.
Yeah, his little latex crop top and his...
Oh, he has the sunglasses and the bear ears.
Incredible. His
incredible.
Hand that's like the size of her entire body is on her shoulder. Like, you know she's looking at them fingers like, damn, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Because she's tiny.
She's so tiny.
It's like Shaq versus a hobbit.
Oh man.
But that's where we get our happy ending. We had a latex clad Valkus who has left the military to join the pirates.
It's excellent.
The queen probably gave him permission for doing everything he did.
Honorable discharge or whatever.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be no, I'm not saying that.
Why not?
Everyone gets their happy ending and we move on.
Sorry, they get their happy ending?
God damn it. Look, Rouge getting dick down good, okay?
She is.
We've already seen that Valkus got that stamina, and now we see the sizers of them standing directly beside each other and just latex. Someone getting it good. I don't know how much of this is staying.
I don't know either, but it's great.
I'll be listening back to this tomorrow as I'm editing and just being like,
you're gonna be like, oh no.
I don't know if I can leave this in. It might be a bit too much.
Nah. Oh man. Okay, so that was our 4 episodes. What would you rate this?
I'd give it a solid I'm gonna give it a solid 6.69, baby.
For 26.9.
I think it's super fun. It's better than average. I don't think it's amazing enough to like hit into that 7-point level, but I do think it's good enough that people should check it out just because it's fun, it's silly, it's a great little adventure, but it's not like the craziest thing I've ever seen. I think we'll give it a solid 6.69.
All right. Well, you were kind of close on Mal. It is rated 6.21.
Okay, so better than
that's only-
most people.
It's only rated by 6,600 people, though.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff that we watch is quite often not rated by many people. It's a little obscure. Like, I'd mentioned this to someone I was watching it, and they just kind of looked at me, and they were a Final Fantasy fan. They were like, huh?
Yeah,
What?
I don't think, I mean, like, to be honest, as like, don't think of this really as a Final Fantasy
No.
thing. 'Cause,
Very
like,
much so.
If you want to watch a Final Fantasy movie, go watch Spirits Within or Advent Children, because it's much better. I mean, I'm
You
probably going
just-
to go watch Advent Children after this.
You just want to see what's his nuts.
Sephiroth, baby. Oh my gosh. Well, anyways, I think that's about the end of this episode. So if you enjoyed it, feel free to like and subscribe and drop us a rating on Spotify or anywhere you listen to this. We also have social media, so where we'll probably post the gif of Lena Lee farting a crystal. It'll be great. You'll all love it. I promise. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I think it's incredible.
At AnimEighties everywhere.
Yes, at AnimEighties. We would love if you could interact with us because we like talking to people about anime, as you can tell. So that's all we have for this week. Tune in next week when Mackenzie's going to have something for me to watch.
Ooh, baby. I've been
Ooh,
waiting to
is it
show you
gonna be-
this one.
Is it going to be bad? Is it going to be good? Who knows? So you'll have to tune in and find out. But that's it for this week. So we're going to float away. We're going to jump on our naked chocobos and ride away into the sunset.
We're going to get like 10 feet on those things.
We are. And then we're going to walk the rest of the way.
I
We'll
I
see.
love chocobos. I was hoping for so much better. Anyways,
I know.
bye.
Ciao.